How's it going, guys? Chris back here again with some more Historic Brawl. Today, we are we've built a Nethroi deck, and part of it is because we have a lot more graveyard synergies, and part of it is because one of the cards I got recently is Duneblast, and I love me some Duneblast. Choose one creature, destroy the rest. Works perfectly with Nethroi because you need one creature to mutate onto. You wrath the board, you Nethroi on whatever's left over. Good times. Our opponent is done. Fair enough. Don't know why. But we'll move on. I'm about to say I record videos a few days ahead, generally. And today, I'd say I happen to have a video for tomorrow and the next day, but no further than that. And it is New Year's Eve. So I decided to sit down, record some videos, and honestly, been having a bit of a blast. Like the teamer deck was insane fun. Working out some of the kinks in the deck before the teamer deck. I know it because it wasn't that complicated. It's completely mind spacing me. Don't do it, opponent. I need those for things. Oh, my Bramble familiar. It's my favorite card. Okay, fair enough. They didn't take our Bramble familiar. I will mill. Thank you for your time, opponent. I still don't remember what that deck is. I just played it a while ago, and I played like a half hour of it because I was having a lot of fun. Oh, Valamakis. It was Valamakis. Very fun deck as well. Sure. Rude opponent. You know you only get one of those. You won't be bazooka bogging me forever. Do that. And time for a teleportation circle. No attack. The yard will be filled. They got a good one too. Vorinclex and Ancient Dragon, like they're two good ones. Eternal Wonder, we couldn't have got her back with Nethroi anyways. There are a couple other things that would have got her back, but no attack. We're keeping Bramble in hand because if we have to Wrath, we need something to mutate onto, and Little Raccoon will have to do the job because he is all that we have left. These are hopes, our dreams, and everything in between. Yeah, this seems like as good a turn as any to just pull the trigger. So their triggers go in the stack first. Get a knot. I'll blink my rock just in case I need it for some unknown reason. I can get back at least two creatures this way. Blood Artist, doing Blood Artist type things. Over. Take that and that. Move myself. Switch out the team. Teleportation Circle is a good card. Rude. Take action. Put her on top. My creatures are bigger than yours, opponent. I don't know what you're gonna do. Let me draw cards? I don't think so. Yeah, fair enough. I can't ECD, so I guess we'll Angel of Suffering. And we'll reset our Yawgmoth. So we can't lose the game currently via damage. Like, we could still lose the game via card effects, but or via Drain. Drain will also do the job. Our opponent has conceded. The second concede of the day. Nobody wants to stick around. That's kind of sad. Although, to be fair, like, we ran into people with the highest tolerances for sticking around with the Teamer Sarkhan deck, and that wasn't necessarily a good thing, right? Because we ended up with like two 5-minute sections of the video that were basically solitaire. They were me churning through my deck, trying to find something that would end the game. It can be good, but also I'm gonna put down Isolated Chapel first, and then we'll Restless. It does mean that we have to play Thicket on 3, but the only way to get a Stitcher Supplier out on turn 2, which is part of the goal. Although we could also put Prairie on 3, and then we'd have Virtue on 2. Okay. No, we wouldn't. That's dumb. I don't know what I'm talking about. I have to say mana is used when you consume it. So if we spend 1 mana, we cannot then spend that mana for something else. Alright, the Ringheart Crest. We have Utter End mana, so if Kethith comes out, we can just survive. Looted Delta, crack it, find the Triome, pass the turn. We'll hold up the double block, just in case our opponent wants to get adventurous. Because the given we'd put Stitcher Supplier in front of Nadir, but we'll also suggest that we'll put the Knight in front as well. So that it doesn't become as simple as I attack, I get a delve, but I also give my opponent something. It becomes I attack, I get to venture, but I also might lose Nadar. Double block. They wanted the treasure for Kethith, I bet. Ooh, Gwenna, never mind. They're being expedient in their choices. I can approve. Can approve. I think I get down Hellish Norn. Hellish Norn can stop a deck like this. Yeah, you might just have to get rid of that opponent. Because you're not going to get your into the battlefield triggers. Unless you do. And combat's unlikely, so it's got to be a kill spell. Spend that one treasure on black mana. Could. Oh, I didn't even realize. Dessen. Dessen, a man of culture. I approve. Well, that's bad. But no venturing, though. Land tax? We can't get rid of Cathis now, but we can get rid of Screeve. No attack. Next turn we mutate our stuff out. So I want to get... I have 10 to play with. I probably want this, and I probably want the Stitcher Supplier. There's an argument for getting Yawgmoth instead, but we need the additional mill. My opponent will never act for lands in me. That's kind of sad. I played Leyline Tag thinking, yeah, this is a good way to get cards in hand, which then you can discard to make your Nethroi proc a little bit better. But in the circumstances in which I played it, it didn't work out. That's kind of sad. I was hoping for a little. Opponent. Over. That, I'll take that. Hmm. It's because of this right here. Uh, don't really want to trade for those. Might have a Doomscar behind this card here. If they do, Nethroi attacking this turn should be the play, because he's just gonna die next turn anyways. But I don't believe this is Doomscar. I think our opponent has something else, and they were expecting me to be cautious as a result. But caution never happens on this channel. We have never once been cautious with our plays. We always expect the best, and we never consider the worst. And our opponent is either disconnected or roping. And either that means we got our bluff right, or our opponent has just had some connection issues. That kind of stuff happens. It happens more often than you think, because Arena, despite it being a several-year-old client, is not always in the best of state. Sometimes it works perfectly, and then other times it does not work perfectly. It tries to, but like sometimes you have a release like Caverns of Ixalan, where one of the cards just kind of broken because of a bug, and you think to yourself, "Wow, that is unfortunate. If only there was some way we could have prevented this." The poor developers, I'm sure, really try to prevent these things, but with the release schedule that they're given is probably pretty difficult. It's generally developing video games like takes years generally, and while coding a new set onto Arena probably wouldn't take that long, it does just kind of happen several times a year, and as a result, you have to divide the year into. Because generally there are at least 3, sometimes 4 sections, which puts it at like the development team has 3 months to code the entire set. And sometimes, because Arena has a lot of the mechanics already coded into it, that's easier, but other times I imagine it probably wouldn't be as easy, right? Like, if you're coding in a set that's as old as Khans of Tarkir, where a lot of the mechanics may not have shown. Hey, you're a mythic. Monastery Mentor. I approve. We'll go on to game 3, because we have not reached the 20-minute mark. Although, if we do, we probably will just go into the... We might even go into the 100-minute mark. Don't want a 14-minute game, but it's happened. It's happened, it's possible, and I cannot ignore that fact. Even though I was saying just a few moments ago that we generally ignore the worst case outcome, sometimes we cannot. When our last 2 videos have been like a half-hour long monsters. Nissa Ascended Animus. This is actually game 4 too. Because we had an early concede and then another concede. I actually do like this, because this is... We can get our white mana from our Coldsteel Heart, and we have protection. We have a lot of good removal, and Old Vorinclex will fix the issue if it comes to that. And this Ascended Animus is a very powerful card. Honestly, she's probably still the second most powerful Nissa, just because War the Spark Nissa is insane, but still pretty good. Okay, Windswept Heath. Grab the Triome. And then Perilous Path. Go away, go away. Ornithopters and Galadriels are not welcome here. Too powerful. Can't stop them. But they gotta go. I don't know, one of the oddest aspects of Magic the Gathering is that when something on the battlefield is a little bit hard to respond to if it has an ability like a Planeswalker ability, where it's just an activated ability. Like, if the cost can be paid relatively easily, it's just a little bit hard to respond to, right? Because if they play their Nissa and they go to -7 her immediately, we could still cast a Get Lost on her if she had like 8 loyalty, and it would still kill her, but the effect would still resolve, right? So you kind of have to stop these type of effects coming down, because you can't stop them once they're on the battlefield. Like, if Nissa comes down, she can immediately ultimate, and that's scary stuff. On the flip side, though, like, if they activate one of the other abilities, like if they make a token, you can just swing out for or cast the Get Lost on it, and it'll die, and the ability that you're worried about won't happen. So there is a bit of choice in the matter, right? Like, your opponent has to choose what you're scared of at that moment. Because sometimes it's not inherently obvious, right? Like, if you're relying on mana from a certain source, like an artifact source, Your opponent has a planeswalker that can destroy artifacts, but they instead dig for cards. Like, that's a reasonable thing for your opponent to do, but at the same time, it also hurts a little bit for our opponent. Counter Vorinclex. Grab a couple of forests. Hey, would you look at that? Forests. They're not the forest we know, but they are the forest we deserve. No. Bramble, you gotta live. You need to live so that Nethroi can do something. Toski. So will they attack? Probably. All signs point to yes. Okay, never mind. I was wrong. So I get an Hellish Norn. Oop, and I was gonna get a Radagast, but I guess we don't need one. Reasonable time for a video too. That's impressive. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.